warm welcome to Goal Line Gossip. We are here together to preview the 25th game week of the Premier League. Introducing our distinguished panel here, Saul repping Manchester United, iTunes Mag representing Newcastle, the Bong Scouts repping the recently annihilated Liverpool, and myself, Jish Meister, representing Arsenal. We're going to start off with Liverpool after the week they've had. What better place to start off with? What are you saying, the Bong Scouser? What's up?
Really, it was a horror show, and there's no better way to put it. It was a complete horror show. But all I can say is that was probably an expected outcome, because to those who thought that, since we've been playing well over 2 games, we're going to win this tie, that was definitely not going to happen. Not in my books, at least. Real Madrid, this Real Madrid team that we played is probably the best team in the Champions League history. Okay, they have pulled out results out of nowhere, and they really do have the belief that, they can win from any situation, in any game, okay, and against the opposition. Liverpool, for me, were not really a match for them. Even though we started really well, we played really well in that first half. Even though we scored those 2 goals and then they came back and hit us 2 in the net, but still it was very fierce and it was very competitive in that first half. But I don't know, we completely lost it in the second half. Much of that was down to, I believe, our midfield. Those 3 have been...
Fabinho.
Not just Fabinho. I think even Henderson and Hitch, all of them were not up to their level. And what I felt that was probably because they have been playing, too many minutes in the last 2-3 games. Okay, they've all played more than 70-80 minutes. When you're playing a high pressing game, you cannot have your midfielders play 70-80 minutes every game, and that too, in a week where you play 3 games. So this was coming, dude. This was really sad times for Liverpool. As a Liverpool fan, it's really hard, because Klopp said last year to the fans that, we'll be there in the final. We booked their tickets. I wonder what happened to those people who have already booked their tickets. They might have to support another team. Probably Real one. I don't know. But
yeah, listen, Klopp is in a precarious situation. What are you saying about 2 decently easy Premier League fixtures coming up?
But I think, to be fair, I'm much more positive about these 2 games. The fact that, our front line is doing pretty well. Okay, Darwin is getting goals. Poriaco is looking much better. We've got Firmino and Jota back. And, the front 3 is looking okay. Midfield is where we've got the problem. I don't know how Klopp is going to sort that out, but I think we just about have enough quality to brush aside Crystal Palace and Wolves. And in the back line, we have our problems as well, but I think we'll have Van Dijk and Joel Matip who'll play. So I'm overall very confident that we can get a result against these 2. And to be very honest, I'm actually expecting to win. So yeah. So I am not that, negative about these the Premier League.
So don't you think Paul need to think beyond Alexander Arnold? Because week in, week out, we have been seeing Arnold's defensive capability getting questioned. I mean, it's getting manhandled, actually.
But who instead of Trent? That's the question.
I don't know. That Pool supporters can say.
See, what I can tell you is that, to be fair, if you see in the last few games, I think Trent's defensive performances have been okay. It's been better than what it was in the previous year. But where that has led to is that his attacking output has sort of dipped. So in that context, what I can say is that, when it comes to the defense, when you have a player like Trent, the entire team needs to support him. Previously, we had Jordan Henderson, who was always, in the team, and he was supporting that right flank. He was always supporting Trent. Okay. And the problem this season has been that Jordan Henderson has not played that much due to his injury. Okay, so and that has actually led Trent to be exposed in the early games. But if you see the last 4 to 5 games, he's been okay. And you compare to at least Joe Gomez and the other guys in the team, Fabinho, his defensive performance has been better. Yeah.
Well, Joe Gomez is a clown. Listen, from an opposition fan, Joe Gomez is a clown. Absolute clown of a defender. Well, we're probably going to move over to the score predictions for the games. What are you thinking, Saul? Palace at home against Liverpool and...
Well, okay. So I know that after these two fixtures, we'll be going to Anfield on 5th of March. So I wouldn't mind a few red cards, few injuries, a few own goals, few dip in forms. So as bad as it can possibly be, I hope they lose both the games. And maybe Klopp gets sacked so that we go to Anfield and we don't have to play Klopp and his men. So, yeah, losses in both of them. I'm not sure about the scoreline, but any loss is scored low.
We are.
Okay, what do you think, Mac? What scoreline going to look like?
Well, the way the pool played against us in the first half, especially, I would see them. They're gonna be win both the matches. The Crystal Palace one will be a little bit, 50-50 matches, but still they're gonna win by 1 goal margin or so. But Wolves, I think they're gonna win by a couple of goals, 2-0 or 3-1 something. So that's my prediction for them.
Yeah, well, I think that Liverpool's going to drop points at Crystal Palace. They're going to be away at Crystal Palace, and they're not. Patrick Vieira team is going to be pretty resolute, and they hunt in packs too. I've seen them play. I think Liverpool's going to drop points there. With the Wolves game, I think it's going to be a standard 1-0, 2-0 or something like that. That's my prediction. What are you saying, Shupriyo? What do you think the score is going to be like?
So against Palace, I feel that, again, this will be a tight game, like everyone is predicting here. But still, I think we have enough quality to get over the line. Like I said, our front line now looks pretty good. And I think that we're going to win this 2-1. Okay. And against Wolves, I expect a sort of a game which will be much more entertaining to watch. Okay. Because Wolves have a lot of quality as well. I am predicting a 3-1 win for Liverpool there. Yeah.
I see. Nice. Well, we're going to head over to Arsenal, second team with 2 fixtures this week. The first game is going to be against Leicester, and we go away to the King Power Stadium. It's been a pretty happy hunting ground, I would say. We have played about 18 matches there since the birth of the new Premier League format, and we have won about 11 of them, right? And However, Leicester can score bags of goals. That's just in my opinion. And we've seen that against a variety of teams. They concede, load of goals, but at the same time, they possess the ability to score as well with players like James Maddison, Harvey Barnes, and Kelechi Iheanacho. They have goals in them for sure. So I think we are going to concede the way we've been playing, especially, we have not kept a clean sheet in the longest time. I think it's going to be a 4-2 or a 4-3, in my opinion. And the next game is against somebody that I do not like at Everton. I think we have 5-goal holes against them in the past 10 or 15 fixtures against them at home. I'm expecting something similar, even though they're going to have, their 3 defensive midfielders playing. I would say it's going to be at least 2 or 3 goals, and I'm hoping to keep a clean sheet at the Emirates. What do you guys?
No, I don't think it'll turn out that way, to be honest. Against Sean Dyche, it is going to be a tight affair, for sure. And what I think at this moment, Arsenal just don't have, that intricacy in their passing when it comes to the final third. So that's where they will be lacking, and that's where I feel that, that's going to make it a much more difficult game for Arsenal. And if you ask me, they're going to win. Definitely they're going to win. But I feel that it will be around a 2-1 or a 1-0.
Now, Paul Scouser, do you think Gabriel Jesus is synonymous with intricacy?
Not really, not really. I prefer Gabriel Jesus to be in those games where they are playing against top opposition. Okay, where you need to press their back line. You need to, that's where he brings, his superiority in the game. And he's one of those players, I believe that, he makes the team work in a way because he sets the tempo, the team. He will, if you see him running, suddenly you see the rest of the team also wants to run and they want to press. Okay, so
Well, yeah, there's no doubt. The reason I mentioned Jesus is because he's scheduled to be back, hopefully, in our bench for the Everton game, along with Thomas Partey. Emil Smith Rowe is already back, so we should be seeing him getting some minutes against Leicester, for sure against Everton, and we should be back to full strength, except for El Neni, who just recently signed a new contract for the new year and for the coming year's season as well. But our first team, our first 15 best players are going to be back and how in about the next couple of weeks' time. So, yeah, what do you think, Saul and Ike Mag? What do you think of our scoreline, Arsenal's?
So I think Arsenal gonna win comfortably against Leicester. Only threat is Burns and Madison over them. But I still think it will be a 3-goal or 4-goal lead. They will win. But yeah, I am skeptical about the Everton. Everton will play physically against Arsenal, and I still think it's gonna be a draw. Again, Dice is going to play that narrow formation. They will, pile up the players in the midfield, and they are going to make them suffer. That's what I think.
Well, viewers, let us know what you think. Saul, what do you think?
I don't know. Again, I don't like predicting score lines. Pretty much for no. I'll give you my insight. I don't have a score prediction because it's Arsenal. I don't want to predict a score, to be honest. But I can tell you this by looking at what City has been up to. I saw their Champions League match today. If Arsenal can get all 6 points out of these 2 matches, I think they will definitely have, one arm on the trophy for sure. Because what do you mean?
So the hard to say.
No,
You see it.
well, it's not going to be both hands. City will be playing a game as well, right? So you don't know what's going to happen there. But I'm saying one arm at least, because City, I watched the match today. Pep Guardiola did not make a single substitution in the second half against Leipzig, which was so odd. And they were playing so differently than what we're used to seeing there.
wrong. What do you think is going wrong?
I think their main players are not firing. Phil Foden, I think, is a very important player for them. And he's been in and out of the team. Before the World Cup, he was spectacular, along with Kevin De Bruyne and, of course, Haaland. And I think those 3 were playing really well. Now what has happened after the World Cup is Foden is gone. De Bruyne has been in and out, injuries, off form. He was ill today. And the people who have replaced them, Grealish, yes, he has scored 2-3 goals. But I think the way he plays, it's not the lethal City. Is something wrong there? And again, same for Mahrez as well. Mahrez is spectacular. I love the guy. The way he, goes past defenders and he, inside the box is pretty dangerous. And he scored an awful lot of goals as well. But when it comes to having a pure number 9, you need players who can feed them. And I think Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne are very essential parts of that team. Because today, Haaland was in the graveyard shift. I think in the second half, I just saw him once run and try to make a challenge or win the ball or even take the ball and go forward. Without that, he was just running around without the ball. And I've seen that so many times in United with so many forwards in the past. So you need players who who can, feed you the crosses and all. And I also feel Bernardo Silva and Gundogan, they are not in form. Gundogan is playing so deep. Almost like a CDM, and which is which is shocking because they don't have anybody else to, make the plays. And I think Pep, with all of this going on, he's not being able to figure out or establish a tactic that will actually work for them, which he's generally good at. And that's why in a 90 minutes game, you see them doing so many things. Sometimes they're okay with giving up the possession. They're trying to go counter. Sometimes they're trying to, raise the defensive line and go forward. So, which I've not seen Pep do a lot. He's very particular about his tactics for every game, and he comes prepared. But in today's match, it almost seemed like he changed it 2 or 3 times, and he was not sure which one is going to work. And at some point with the first goal, he wanted to just take the first goal and go back to Etihad. And the next week, pretty much with what happened in the Premier League, in the last game, they had a goal lead and they wanted to just defend and end the match like that. But then, if you don't try to apply pressure or take the ball to the other half and let them play, there are chances that you can go down. And defensively, they've not been great. They've not been keeping clean sheets for a long time. So I think that's what's wrong with them. So again, like from Arsenal point of view, if they can get 6 points, I think they will be in a very, very good position, even after losing to City at the Emirates. I know they have another match at the Etihad, but they'll be in a very comfortable spot.
I'll take a quick opportunity to say something controversial, and I hope I'm not hated on by our viewers or any of you guys. What is happening to Manchester City right now is eerily similar to what I saw with Manchester United. Haaland is having the Cristiano Ronaldo effect that he had on Manchester United, in my opinion. And let me finish. If you look at City prior to Erling Haaland, if you look at the heat maps of the players like Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, even from the times of Aguero or Kevin De Bruyne, you'll see the heat maps are all over the place. They would come slotting around the number 10 position at times. They would go out in the flanks. They would play inside the box and those kind of things. They had fluidity in their game. Now, as soon as Erling Haaland occupy a number 9 spot, all these players are no longer, maybe sometimes time to time you will see them in the box, but they're no longer that fluid team, much like United were with Cristiano Ronaldo up top. Bruno Fernandes was maligned. Marcus Rashford completely lost his confidence. There were other players, Greenwood was there, right? Previous season. All of these players dipped in form because the team, the sport does not support a number 9, especially in the Premier League, that does not press as hard. Same thing's happening with City. But yeah, you guys, to each his own. I think that's what's happening in City, and they look like a horrible team. This is a perfect transition, where we can probably talk about the Bournemouth game.
But I think, the way City playing right now, they are more over concerned with their position in Premier League as well as the Champions League position. So I still think it's gonna be a good battle between Arsenal and City. And City, Pep is a mastermind. He gonna come up with something that City will improve a lot, and I still think Arsenal will be in second position and City will clinch the title at the end of the season.
I can imagine. Did you see my prediction in last week's video?
Yes, I did.
I don't even think they're going to finish the top 2. They're going to be finishing third. United's going to be finishing above them. That's how confident I'm about City's performance.
Yeah, just make sure you don't choke in the end, just like you choked last season in top 4. You know what Tottenham did to you, right? So don't be so confident.
I wonder why no one here is talking about United's chances of winning the title.
Because United, I'll tell you why. I'll
Completely under the radar.
That's what they like. They're trying to be sneaky about it. They don't want to admit that they're in title race, but hell, they are in a title race.
No, absolutely not.
If you ask me to predict today, I would say it is United who wins the title.
Not a chance. I mean, that's bizarre. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. We are the only team, European team, who's in every competition right now. The Carabao Cup will be ending this weekend, but we have the FA. We have been playing. So Arteta has been complaining about too many games. I think that happened last week, and now Bong Scouts is saying 3 games a week. Guess what? We've been doing it since the World Cup ended. We've been playing 3 games since I think December, right? And that's why I'm not confident about a title or anything of that sort, because we've already had so many injuries. Eriksen is out. Donny van der Beek is out for the season. That's done and dusted. Casemiro, after every 4 or 5 games, he gets some kind of a suspension. That's a pattern as well. So if that happens, I know we have Sabitzer, but we also have to replace one of them with either a Fred or a McTominay. Okay, so and I'm not sure how that partnership is going to be. We know how McTominay and Fred play. We've all seen that in the previous seasons. So that's there. And we'll have more injuries, and there will be a dip in form. I mean, whether it's against Barcelona tomorrow or against Newcastle on Sunday or at Anfield and Liverpool, I don't know. But that is going to come because every player is overplayed. I don't remember the last time Bruno Fernandes was substituted. I think he's been playing 90 minutes for 4 years or something like that. I know that's not true, but so that dip will come in whatever way, whether through injuries, suspension, or just playing bad, right? And that's why, it's unrealistic for any Manchester United fan to think that they will win the title, because I think at the end of the day, winning, if Erik ten Hag is trying to challenge the title, that is definitely not the right way to look at it, because we are in all the competitions. I don't really care about the Europa League, but the Carabao Cup final is there, maybe the FA Cup, and I think the way we started our season, getting a top 4 Champions League next year with new owners, and maybe getting the Carabao Cup, I think it's a great turnaround from what happened last season. Last season we finished, I think 6th or 7th, and that was the worst performance ever that I have seen. We were not even that bad under Moyes. So yeah, I mean, I'm just happy about whatever we've done so far. Erik ten Hag, I know the guy doesn't get a lot of credit, and he's definitely overshadowed by Arteta's Arsenal. No.
People comparing him to Arteta and Pep Guardiola.
No.
So this season,
No.
I
Okay, let me. Bong Scouser, 1 second. Before you come in, I just want to make something clear. No manager is compared to Arteta. Okay, just because you're top of the league this season doesn't mean you're compared. I mean, Pep Guardiola, sure, but don't try to slip that in. Okay, Bong Scouser, over to you.
And listen. This guy is the youngest manager in the Premier League. He's top of the league flying. I don't think you get to question that man's ability right now. At least not right now. Maybe if you slip up 2, and then you can probably talk about it and banter me, but not right now, not at all. But we kind of digress from the original topic of discussion. What are we thinking about the City versus Bournemouth game? Are we all in consensus that Bournemouth's going to be slapped hard?
Yes, I do predict so. It's a 4-0 or 5-1, something sort of that.
Rather thinking, fine, hattrick incoming.
Yes, I believe it's a 5-1 or 4-8. I mean, there's no way Bournemouth gonna upset the City, or they're gonna even try for a draw. It's just a whitewash for it.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see an Erling Haaland hat-trick just for us. The stats diggers. Bournemouth has faced City 5 times at the stadium, and they've lost all 5 games. And there's not even a single draw in there. So I'm pretty confident they're going to beat them. City's going to beat them, and there's going to be an Erling Haaland hat-trick, taking his goal tally to 29. What are you thinking, Saul? Is it a similar consensus?
Couldn't care less about a City match. Sorry.
This guy's what with it? It's not prediction. Okay.
It's the most boring match in the week. Nobody wants to watch that much.
Well, what do you think, Brown Scouser?
Again, that's a game which I feel that City is going to really spank Bournemouth hard. Okay, it's going to be like a foreign movie. A hard football.
This is a family show, guys.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the reality. What I feel is that, what I genuinely feel is that, this is the game where, Erling Haaland has an opportunity to hit the 30 goal mark. And it's probably, and this is going to be the game which will be remembered for Erling Haaland's performance, because he likes this kind of opposition, right? He's a flat track bully. Everyone in the Premier League knows him to be a flat track bully.
Absolutely. We want to move into the next game. That was supposed to be the highlight fixture of this game week 25. It's a London derby. You think Tottenham's going to carry on with their wins against this measly Chelsea side, or what do you think?
Yes, I think it's a 2-0 win for Tottenham. Chelsea is in a horrible form. I'm not sure the dressing room scenario in Chelsea. Potter probably losing it. All the incomings with Chelsea in the transfer window, that are not worth it. Yes, here and there they are playing bits and pieces, but overall they're horrible. I mean, a team like Chelsea with the bench they had, I was expecting they're gonna come and thrash up every opponent. That's not what we are seeing in reality. I don't know. I mean, I'm just clueless about the Chelsea dressing room and the owner right now. I think Spurs gonna beat them comfortably. It's a 2-0, 3-0 for them. But yeah, it's
Nice. So I don't think so.
I have no idea. I genuinely think that, this is one of those games. This is one of those games where, Potter is going to, somehow manage to beat Spurs. You know why? Because if you see Chelsea's performances, okay, whenever they are on a losing streak, suddenly we have a big game and they turn things. And if you see the game against Liverpool, which they managed to draw, right? So Chelsea actually performed pretty well. And Potter's got this ability to do well against the big teams. So I think they'll definitely take points away from Spurs.
Okay. But I mean, at least the statistics supports more comment, Bonk Scouser, just because Tottenham has had a horrid time against Chelsea in the past 10 games overall against them, even at their own home turf, right? So you may have some truth to what you're saying. Now, Saul, what do you think? Are you gonna again blank out on predicting this game, or?
I have something to say. I think Potter's getting sacked this week once they lose against... I think that's next week, right? Okay, so maybe this game is going to be the decider whether Potter stays or not. They have a Champions League match next week against Dortmund, which they're already trailing. I don't think there's any way Potter will be able to survive these two matches. So maybe, if they win the match, if they can even get a point, I think he keeps the job just to lose it the next week, or this becomes his last game. And the pressure is tremendous. A lot of people are saying that he needs time, and that, which is very idealistic, and it should be. But if you look at Chelsea fans, they've completely given up faith. Everybody has lost faith, and I think the majority of Chelsea fans, they don't want Potter anymore. It's not working out, and we've seen this so many times in so many clubs, right? Where if you have the pressure from the fans, the manager gets sacked. And Potter was always like signing a deal with the devil when he accepted this job. And for a club like Chelsea, the way they spend money to get players, I don't think they're going to even think twice before sacking him. I think the problem here is that they don't have a replacement. I think there was a news like yesterday or day before yesterday that apparently Pochettino rejected Chelsea. Now, if that's true, they're already talking to managers, which means they're looking for a replacement. They just need to find a good replacement rather than going for another interim for the remaining season. So if they can get someone like a Zidane, I don't know if Zidane is going to come to Chelsea, but
I think Zidane coming. Imagine.
Can happen.
A legendary interim manager, past headache.
Really?
Possible. gonna spoil over for you guys. There's one thing, guys. You guys who was thinking that Potter's gonna be sacked, you're daydreaming. Trust me, the devil in this picture is Graham Potter himself. The buyout for him to be sacked is gonna cost Chelsea £72 million, and with the staff, it works out about £96 million. There's no way gonna be splashing Enzo Fernandez cash to get rid of a manager that they brought in 5 months back. There's no freaking way. Absolutely no way.
So let me paint a scenario. So if Chelsea keep on dropping points, and they get knocked out of the Champions League, do you think they'll retain him just because it's too expensive to get rid of him?
They will, because this season is a write-off. They're not expecting to play in Europe next season anyway. They would rather not play in Europe next season and you bounce back harder and then potentially make a proper title charge next season.
I don't think the fans agree. Fans, yeah.
But the fans are not the bills. You got to understand it. £72 million to buy out a manager that, or cancel the contract of a manager that they literally just signed.
It's nothing. It's nothing for them. They spent 300 million in the transfer window.
And then to the contract of a manager, you don't spend 100 million.
No, if you get the right fit, definitely. If you get a Zidane, 100%. 100%. It's like buying an Enzo Fernandez.
I think they're going to follow the Mikel Arteta pathway with Graham Potter. I have a hunch. I could be wrong. Listen, it could very well.
Okay, just one second. What is the Mikel Arteta path? Finish 8th, finish 6th, go for top 4, fail, go 5th, and then in the 4th or 5th season, be at the top of the league because City is not in form. Is that the Mikel Arteta way?
The Mikel Arteta way is to trust in the process and let somebody work the project. Let them work the project and not take the rug under their feet.
I get it. So trust in Guardiola, make him sell 2 of their best players to your team, and hope that they lose their form so that you can do well. Okay, yeah, fair enough. That logic works.
Everyone's been doing undermining Arsenal's performance, and I thought that I was not going to bring this up, but you are sounding as foul-mouthed as Gary Neville has been, and some bitter United fans, and some other fans as well. Gary Neville has been undermining our performance throughout this entire season. He's been saying that we're performing well because City is underperforming. That has nothing to do with us, making 50 points in 19 games. Has absolutely nothing. We have been overachieving based on our squad depth. What we are performing better. We are a better team. Anybody that understands any football is gonna tell you that we have been a better team this season. If you wanna,
better than City. Yes, I agree. Better than City. Yeah, better than City.
Probably better than most teams in the league. We have been better than most teams in the league.
Yeah.
That's why you see Newcastle setting up a low block. You see Manchester City with 36% possession against Arsenal. That's unheard of. To move on to the highlight of our show here, we're going to be talking about the Carabao Cup final, Newcastle United versus Manchester United. I'll let you guys take it over. Saul and I do Matt.
Okay, I'll start because I think we're going to win. We have to win. I know that Newcastle, you guys have not won a trophy for a longer period of time, but we're talking about Manchester United here. And I don't think I have seen a trophy. Who was the last manager who won trophies? Definitely Mourinho. So after Mourinho, we've won nothing. Nada. So this is a very big opportunity for us. And it's also a very nice game to go into. We have the Barcelona match just before that tomorrow. So whether we win or lose, if we win, we're going to be, in high spirits. We're going to have that, that spirit sorted out to go there and perform. And if we lose, we're going to be coming hard on Newcastle. So, sorry for the part. But that's definitely going to happen. And also along with that, Anthony, who was injured, he's probably coming back for Barcelona tomorrow. Anthony Martial is back on the training pitch, which means he's going to play at least 60% of the game with Newcastle. And Casemiro is going to come back from his ban. So we are going to be we're going to be at full strength for sure. And yeah, I mean, just based on how we are playing right now with Rashford in blistering form, And even defensively, we've not been conceding a lot of goals. I don't see a way that we will screw this up. So, yeah. What do you think? Honestly, do you really think you guys can win this?
See, it will be a 50-50 match. Boys are hungry. They are very much hungry. So Newcastle haven't won a domestic league since 1955. They haven't any final since 1999. So they know that winning this match, they will go down the history. They will become the legend of the club. Howie and team will be remembered for the longest time ever possible for the club. And it will be a 50-50 match. There will be fight, but I still think Newcastle will still have the edge over Man. The reason...
Not with Loris Karius. Not with Loris Karius.
I'll come to that. I'll come to that. See, the reason I'm saying Newcastle have the edge over Man U, because where Son first said that the fatigue, the way they are playing consistently since World Cup, every 2 match, 3 match, even in the 3 days they will be having Barcelona match. They just get a couple of days gap between the Newcastle match and Barcelona match. Then, see, Newcastle have an ample time of training, their session, their everything. They are fully ready. 8 days gap they got from the Liverpool game to Man U game. And we have come, Bruno is back. Our midfield are way complex. If you see the last match, first 20 minutes, we are horrible. The Nick Pope red card, that's something, I'm not discussing that because that's a past. Apart from Nick Pope, we have the every 11 players ready for the match. ASM probably the best player, though Liverpool played very well. Liverpool the better team against Newcastle, but ASM was the best player between the two teams. He is back. Bruno is back. Our defense is absolutely stunning. Apart from that, two goals against Liverpool, that's a horrible. I mean, that's something happened. Bad day office. And see, now people talking about Karius.
Let me tell you something.
We always judge Karius about the performance of the Champions League horrible game. It happens to everybody. See the Oliver Kahn, 2002 World Cup final. He's a great goalkeeper. But that happens. That's something we cannot decide. We cannot define a single player on base of single match.
And tell you what, I'll just add a little fact here. During that Champions League final game, he actually suffered a concussion.
Exactly. He's a Sergio Ramos. Yeah,
he had a concussion. So that could possibly have resulted in those mishaps.
Yes, that's a collision with Sergio Ramos in that match, and it's late on the. Before that match, he had a 14 game clean sheet in the Premier League out of 30 games he played. Okay, so we had, Karius had that experience. I'm telling you, he will be the top card. You'll see, he will play better than Nick. Yes, no. He will be the... Eddie Howe already said that over the past months he have seen playing Karius, and he's extremely happy with his performances. And so that's something we cannot take from Karius, his experience, and he's hungry. This is his redemption match. He will show how he plays and what the player is.
Certainly, I think is the stage is made for him. Yes, what he was in the he was not anywhere around, right? Even in Turkey, he was rejected by a team. I don't remember which team it was, but the stage is made for him, and the situation is such that he's put into another big final for a team that he's playing in. So I think Ronojoy could be right here. Karius could really pull off a miracle and make some incredible saves and frustrate Manchester United.
Is that what you guys are going for? Like a goalkeeper being in terrific form and making saves? That's not going to win you the match. You also have to score.
for a quick second, guys. My 2 cents. You guys have probably undermined how good Newcastle is or has been this season. I haven't forgotten how good they are. It's only because Bruno Guimaraes has been missing for the past few games that you're seeing a really poor Newcastle, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. With him back and with probably Joelinton playing in the middle of the park again, if with ASM playing out wide, if that's possible. I don't know whether Isak or Callum Wilson's going to play center and Almiron's going to play right. Trust me, this team will potentially finish top 4 as well. I know I predicted Liverpool to make a
Wait, we are not talking about top 4, dude. We're talking about the cup final.
Oh, the cup final? Oh, you guys are not winning it. And my prediction is Newcastle taking it away.
Based on what?
Based on Bruno Guimaraes and how good he is and how much you adore the guy and how good...
Rashford has scored 10 goals in 10 matches.
But not against the resolute defense like Castles, not against a Fabian Schär, not against Dan Burn, not against a Kieran Trippier.
So, what? So you think he can't score against them?
I don't think so. I don't think you guys are breaking them down.
See, since Bruno was out, our defense was shambling because the pressure was coming from midfield defense. And since Bruno was back, our defense gives that independent way of playing, the way they were playing before the World Cup, even after the World Cup in the Leicester game as well, against the Southampton in Cup semi-final. Our defense has every capability to stop Rashford. See, football is a team game. We are not concentrating on Rashford. It's just another player. We have stopped Haaland. We have stopped Haaland from, going a 3-goal forward. We have...
And Ketia. Eddie and... Sorry.
The Arsenal references are totally ruining the video. Like Arteta and Kedia. Can you just stop?
We have seen playing Anthony against Dan Burn. Dan Burn stopped him like a mosquito. Just like that. In the first leg, 1-on-1, 0-0 draw, Dan Burn just outplayed Anthony. Anthony is not a factor at all. He's just do some 360, this flick and all that. He's not going to do any harm.
Like Dan Burn, this guy Dan Burn is grossly underrated. Guys, sir. Every time I see him in the box, I know that, the attacker does not have a chance against him. So, this guy is a real monster. I wonder why he's not in the English team.
Because Southgate is absolutely horrible man. Absolutely. He does not have any hold he's choosing.
He does not play a back 5 though. Southgate plays, Southgate plays a back 5. He needs more mobile fullbacks. And Dan Burn, I know he's mobile, but just maybe his physical stature and structure maybe kind of takes him out of the equation, probably, from Gareth Southgate's selection. It's over.
Against Southampton, Dan Burn actually dribbled past the Southampton defense and scored goal. He's going overlap. He's coming back. Work rate has been tremendously changed. He's actually playing as a left back. We thought after McTurkett got injured that who will come up at left back. Jamal Lewis is something we don't rely on. And we have seen from that first day, Dan Burn is playing phenomenal. He's actually, Botman is not commanding the defense. Dan Burn is commanding the defense. He's actually playing, doing everything he can. He's clubbing in midfield. He's coming in a penalty box, clearing heads. Dan Burn is absolutely phenomenal. No, I don't...
To be fair, Ronojoy, what I believe is that Dan Burn is still kind of a stopgap arrangement. In the summer, they will buy a fullback.
Yes, and the rumor is Tierney probably coming on in a 30 million fee from Arsenal.
That's what we
of the guys. He's a warrior. But listen, we're kind of running out of time here for the show. Let's get the score predictions.
My prediction. For me, my heart says it will go on a penalty and Karius will outplay the tiebreaker. But my heart says it will be a 2-1 win for Newcastle. It's Bruno Guimaraes and Wilson will be scoring. and probably Casemiro from Man Utd.
Okay. What do you think, so?
I think it's going to be a thrashing, regardless of whether we beat Barcelona or not tomorrow. It's going to be a...
That's not a test.
It's going to be a... So by thrashing, I mean like a 3-1 or something like that. I'm not saying 9-0 or something obnoxious like that.
Even Real Madrid we cannot beat us in 9. Forget about Man.
Yeah, but we don't have to score 9 goals, right? I mean, 3 is enough. And okay, I want to bring you back to what you said about, the Newcastle players being motivated because you've not won a title and they're going to become immortals and legends if they win. Let me break it to you. You guys are already legends for being in the final. Now it's our turn to win the cup and break our some kind of voodoo thing that's been happening for 3 years. You guys are already legends, trust me. With whatever you've done this season, the fact that you're in the final, we have a chance at top 4, fantastic. But
no one remembers the silver medalist. No one remembers.
Well, you should try and remember. Listen, I cannot see United lose. I mean, I get the whole penalty shootout angle with Karius, like changing his whole perception in the English league. But other than that, I don't think. I mean, if we can't score and if we go to the penalties, just like a boring World Cup match. If you want to beat Croatia, sure, okay, that can be a possibility. I wouldn't deny. But I'm expecting a thrashing because we've been scoring a lot of goals, and it's not through just Rashford. I think Bruno has been playing really well as well, and Sancho has been scoring, and a lot of players are putting in. And the only thing that we didn't talk about, in this section is how is Newcastle going to score, right? And I think the answer's on the card. They're not, because they can't. I mean, they can, but it's difficult, right? I mean, they're really good defensively. I get that, but we are also very good going forward as well. And defensively, we've been pretty decent as well. A lot of clean sheets this season. So definitely a win. Hope it's a thrashing because we need to win a cup. And it's been like over 3.5 years or 4 years since I've seen that team celebrate. And Erik ten Hag deserves this with all the effort that he's put in after a really, really bad season last season. So hopefully, yeah, we can go all the way.
Listen, Bong Scouser, what's your score prediction?
If you ask me, I think it is with United. I think United will win the game. It's going to be a tight game for sure. It's going to be a tight game, but what I think is that United have, Casemiro. They have Varane. These guys have won titles before, right? So they know how to get the job done in a final, and that's where I believe that Newcastle is lacking. Eddie Howe, apart from the championship, he's not won anything. And I haven't seen Newcastle or any of those players who are playing for Newcastle play in a final. So I just think that, United have a few leaders in that squad. And, when it comes to these big games, it's those men who actually, they take the limelight and they help to, get the others motivated and, perform well. And with Rashford in the form of his life, I think you've got to give it to United. Honestly. Although I really hope that, Loris Karius has a good game. I personally, as a Liverpool fan, I empathize with him. The treatment that he's received from Liverpool fans has not been right. Definitely not been right. He was quite decent before the final. And I really hope that this is a redemption game for him. I really hope he can frustrate United. But yeah, in my books, it is Manchester United all the way. I'd hate to see United win, but yes, that's the reality. Manchester United is going to win.
Listen, I'm going to wrap up the show here. My prediction is going to be that Loris Karius is going to redeem himself. And it's going to be a tight 2-1 with Newcastle edging past you guys. It's going to be Callum Wilson scoring the first goal, Bruno Fernandes scoring the second, and Murphy scoring with the winner. This is my prediction. And we're at the end of the show here, guys. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules. And I hope you guys, the viewers, enjoyed the show. Please do subscribe to our channel if you're liking what you're seeing. We're going to be posting more content, coming in the coming days as well. Do like the video, share it with your friends, talk about it, make comments, let us know if you want to join us, in this gossip as well. We'd love to have you here. Yeah. Peace out.